Hey everyone! What happened between Yandy and that person will blow your mind. This was more than just a sardonic Instagram comment or a sly glance, Rasheeda and Karlie Redd. No way. This picture was an actual altercation in the public eye. When Yandy cried out for help, Camilla was in full shock. But wait, how did things get so out of hand that security had to step in? Why were Rasheeda and Karlie so upset? According to what I've heard, the internet is buzzing and everyone is conversing. Instead of being an isolated occurrence, it was a well-thought-out, vicious takedown that had been boiling for decades. Furthermore, you may be surprised to learn what Karlie and Rasheeda said to Camilla and Yandy. The proof is there, actual proof. Let us claim that reputations are on the verge of disintegrating and friendships are over. You may never view these women in the same light after learning the full story. Now that this drama is intensifying, get some munchies. All right, grab some popcorn and settle in, because the most ridiculous story of the year is about to be told. Match's total betrayal and a public humiliation so bad that even the producers of Hip Hop and Love were probably catching their breath, waiting for this. The attack on Kimbella and Yandy by Karlie Redd and Rasheeda was not a straightforward altercation. Rather, it was a violent, well-planned ambush, and the consequences will be quite unpleasant. Please allow me to clarify. The hostility between these ladies has been boiling for years. If you had been listening carefully, you may have seen the warning signals, but nobody could have expected that. Even if you felt trouble was imminent, it would explode up like this. Let's imagine a high-profile, glitzy event with VIP tables, an open bar with free drinks, and a mob of celebs, influencers, and reality TV stars in one lavish location. Free alcohol, reality TV egos, unresolved grudges, matching designer outfits, full-on glitter, and the kind of swagger that comes when you're ready to control the night don't go together like this. You already know something is going to go wrong. Together, Rasheeda and Karlie Redd entered, looking gorgeous. Inside, Yandy and Karlie were already having cocktails at a VIP table, giving off an entirely relaxed atmosphere. However, the mood instantly altered as Rasheeda and Karlie walked in. Rasheeda and Karlie have had animosity for Yandy and Camilla for a duration. Rasheeda's financial transactions have reportedly been the subject of Yandy's conversations, and this was no idle chatter. It seems like Rasheeda was not going to overlook the fact that Yandy was reportedly trying to steal one of her key business contacts. You are aware of how rumor has it that she has a lengthy relationship with Yandy and Camilla, two women who have cycled through fake apologies, questionable interviews, and public cosmetics. But in reality, there has only been chaos. Yandy has been criticizing Karlie and Rasheeda as being opportunistic and fame-hungry, but she denies that they are truly friends. Karlie refused to let Yandy treat her that way. You would think that these women would be sufficiently well-dressed to appear adorable at a public event. But no, as soon as their eyes met, Yandy and Karlie across the room were drinking. Witnesses said Rasheeda and Karlie directly went to the table where Yandy and Kimla were sitting. Rasheeda first came in close to Yandy and muttered something in her ear, but their small conversation was initially limited to false grins and subtle shade. At that moment, the mood shifted, and Yandy's expression appeared as if she had been smacked. Her smile vanished, her eyes became wide, and she leaned back and looked shocked. He said, "Oh, you know exactly what's up." Karlie set down her drink. Yandy stood up before Kimbella could even ask what was going on, and Karlie and Pink Cheeks Rasheeda shouted, "Why didn't you tell Camilla you've been trying to snatch my business contacts?" Karlie was standing there already, exuding the air you get right before someone rips out their earrings for a brawl, and the noise was loud enough for everyone in the room to perceive. There was silence in the room, and Kimbella's eyes grew wide. To Camilla's surprise, Yandy tried to cover it up with a joke, but she refused. She wasn't giving up, but Yandy surprised sis. She said, "You're out of your mind," to Rasheeda. Not letting it go, Karlie added. The screenshots tell a different story, honey. Sure, you heard right. Insiders claim that Karlie had screenshots of Yandy trying to damage Rasheeda's deal by getting in touch with one of her business associates. Since Karlie had prepared those texts at this very moment, it was not an unplanned outburst, but rather a calculated maneuver. Reports state that Yandy was confronted by Karlie, who took her drink from her hand across the table. Startled, Kimela hurried to Yandy's side, but Rasheeda was already moving. Witnesses said Rasheeda grabbed Kimela's arm as she pulled it back and told her to stay out of it. Karlie screamed like she was in a slasher movie and was just getting started when she raced toward Yandy as if to punch her, but within minutes they had spilled drinks, toppled tables, and rolling cameras. They were separated too late by security, but LHHATL Karlie and other hashtags were trending. After a viral event on Twitter with Rasheeda v. Yandy and Dr. Kimela in shock, Yandy learned the hard way not to meddle with Rasheeda's money due to the harshness of the internet. One witness claimed that Karlie said to Rasheeda, "Don't think it's over. Trust me, it's just getting started." Because Yandy was unprepared, Karlie and Rasheeda arrived to exact revenge, and the memes were vicious. From here, however, things become even more chaotic. What did Karlie and Rasheeda do? Proceed next. I see that this whole situation will explode out in unexpected ways. Yandy and Kimela will have to discover the hard way that Rasheeda and Karlie are serious. Prepare yourself for the aftermath of the celebration. Do not believe that scene was insane because of the minor altercation between Karlie, Rasheeda, Yandy, and Kimela. This controversy, from what I've heard, is swallowing the blogs and won't go away. The situation between Kimela and Karlie got pretty ugly, and you won't believe what happened. Honey, the streets are bustling, and the fallout is going to get real. This, according to insiders, is only the warm-up. Describe what precisely transpired when Rasheeda and Karlie were hauled out of the party by security. The white Yandy Karlie. And Rasheeda, aside from a sidelong glance or an Instagram chuckle, was a full-fledged, no-holds-barred public altercation shot. Yandy was yelling for help, while Kimela was standing there, utterly stunned. But hold on. What led to this situation? Because things got so out of control, security had to intervene. How come Rasheeda and Karlie lost it like that? There is a lot of discussion on the internet. And from what I've heard, it wasn't a spontaneous outburst, but rather a well-thought-out, vicious takedown that had been simmering for a while. Here's the true evidence. After hearing what Karlie and Rasheeda said to Kimela and Yandy, let's just say that friendships are over and that reputations will be ruined. You may have a completely different perspective on these women after learning the whole story. Warm and steaming. Well, let's get started. You should all unwind, grab some popcorn, and buckle up as you get ready to hear the most outrageous story of the year, total treachery, and a public humiliation so bad that even the people who created love and hip-hop were probably gasping.